Today I'm going to be taking a look at yet another Butch Hartman show. You know, my favorite creator of all time, who I definitely haven't shat on the majority of his shows. Yeah, that silly guy. How exciting. But today we're actually looking at a banger of a show, Fairly OddParents, or should I say it was a banger of a show back in the day before they decided to add a baby, a dog, and a girl to the cast, which her only purpose was to appeal to a female audience. It wasn't actually for a decent writing purpose, or at least so I think. I haven't watched the show in a very long time, so I'm going to be taking a look at 4 of the most requested worst episodes and seeing, are they actually that bad? And if you like content just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe because I upload almost every single day. And at 50k, I'm going to be cosplaying as Pops from regular show, going to different karaoke bars, and singing Footloose, as well as doing the Milk Challenge. And if you want a place where you can hang out, talk about your favorite shows, movies, games, all that good stuff, my Discord will be in the description. Now let's finally take a look at Fairly OddParents. The first episode I'm going to be taking a look at is It's a Wishful Life, and this episode is just outright depressing. I don't really understand why show writers find torturing a character who doesn't deserve it to be so funny. They're just like watching a character have the worst day of their life when they did nothing wrong, and they're just like, oh my god, this is so unbelievably funny. Oh wow, laugh at him, point at him and laugh. And then for some reason, episodes like this, they always have the shittiest conflict resolutions ever, to where you still don't feel better for the character who just got harassed for 11 minutes. It's so weird. It's so odd. I'll never understand it. Either way, this episode starts off with Timmy just doing genuinely good deeds. Like he paints a mural for Mr. Pickles, or whatever that guy's name was, the school art teacher, and he hates it. He gets AJ a brand new expensive computer, and AJ hates it. He does the lawn for his parents, makes it look super nice, and they hate it. Fuck you, Timmy. You tried to do a nice thing for me. I hate you.
And my butt is not that big.
They just get really pissed off at him, and I just felt bad. And when Cosmo and Wanda also say that their fishbowl isn't clean, that is the last straw, so Timmy wishes that he was never born. Okay, so we're gonna get a little plot where we get at least somebody appreciating Timmy, right? Somebody's going to be lost. Somebody's going to be sad that Timmy is not in existence. Well, Jorgen shows up and he's like, Timmy Turner, I'm gonna throw you into hell for wishing that you were never born. I hate you. And so he wants to put Timmy Turner into hell, but Timmy's all like, we gotta find somebody who appreciates me. So he goes around the land and he first sees his parents, who are now multi-billionaires with their prize-winning daughter, and they're just so unbelievably happy.
Ooh, check it out, honey. It says here that our beautiful, talented, not-boy daughter Sophia is going to get nominated for another Academy Award!
Great. Okay, we're off to a wonderful start. Without Timmy, his parents' lives are significantly better. Okay. What about Francis, the school bully who relies on Timmy? Well, without Timmy, he's not a bully anymore. He's a great person, star of a football team. Okay, are you starting to feel sad for Timmy yet? Nobody needs him. What about Crocker and his expedition to capture the fairies? No, without Timmy, without good old Timmy Turner, Crocker is a Harvard College professor, and AJ, he is in that class, and also he never went fucking bald.
With a full head of hair? Aw, come on, how is that my fault?
Timmy is the cause of his alopecia! Is that the right term for that? I don't know why AJ is bald, so that was the first thing that came to mind. But either way. Yeah, so it's appearing like everybody's lives are better. Even Vicky is better. She doesn't torture her kids. She actually helps prevent the pain. Everybody is doing better. So Jorgen is all like, Timmy, it's time to go to hell. Oh, Timmy, it's time. I don't know why I made him sound like he was gonna bust a little bit. He wasn't gonna bust in the episode, I assure you. Either way, Timmy barely manages to beat Jorgen by flying upwards with a jetpack that's using laughing gas, and he knocks him into the void. And so Timmy, he wants to change everything back to normal, but that means ruining everybody's lives. And that is when Jorgen comes out from the abyss, and he's all like, Timmy, you passed the test. and it was all a test, which actually gave me hope for the episode because then it would have a strong message. I thought Jorgen created this world to make Timmy understand that he needs to not wish that he doesn't exist. He's just supposed to do good deeds. That would have been a great message. But he didn't create the world. It's just actually like that. I thought it was going to subvert my expectations and everybody actually isn't doing better with Timmy. They were going to showcase, oh, this one character's super sad. Tootie doesn't have anybody to unconsensually just grab and grip and squeeze his cheeks. Tootie can't be an unconsensual whore. I thought it was going to be something like that, but no. We get to watch everybody's lives just get so much worse because Timmy gets to wish himself back into existence. What kind of moral are you trying to give to the kids? Huh? I don't get it. Just make them existential and worry that they're not good enough for everybody in their lives, because that's all it is. Like, I don't feel better about this episode. Like, yes, Timmy learns that he should do good deeds for the sake of doing good deeds, not for reward, but now he has to live with the fact knowing that every single person in his life would be way better off if he just never existed. And you could say, oh, well, Timmy learned to do some dishes, you know? He could help his parents out around the house. Well, he already tried to do that. He tried to do stuff for everybody at the beginning of the episode, and they still hated their lives. Like, just because he's not expecting to be rewarded anymore doesn't mean that his parents are benefited. I don't think they're going to be any more happy without their millions of dollars. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. The message is very faulty here and the execution is poor. I genuinely think if they would have, showed at least one person who was super sad, anybody at all. But no, they don't. So yeah, off to a bit of a downer start. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it 5 out of 10. It doesn't do anything that's so unbelievably awful that makes me hate the episode. I just think it's so unbelievably sad and does not have a good message. The next episode that I'm going to be taking a look at is Lights Out, and in this episode, Timmy is just kind of a little prick. Like, he deserves everything that happens to him because he's just being such a little dick at the beginning. At the beginning, he's reading a terrifying story to Poof, and Poof is so unbelievably frightened by this that Poof just wants a little nightlight. And Timmy is like, how am I gonna get my sleep with your stupid nightlight? Oh, you're so dumb. And so he gets rid of the nightlight, which makes Poof be really scared. And the thing that always pisses me off about Fairly OddParents sometimes is, like, you have all power to wish for almost everything you want except for the rules. So why not just be like, I wish that I could fall asleep and have a peaceful night, even with that nightlight. I wish that I could have a sleep mask. I wish. You're just stupid. You're a stupid buck-toothed beaver, Mr. Turner, and you piss me off. You're just hurting the poor little child's feelings, and for what? For what? But either way, Timmy barely gets any sleep that night, so he wishes for everything to become dark, and this leads to Wanda telling him about scary fairies, and we get my favorite Butch Hartman joke, the one where it's all like, oh man, I really hope that this doesn't happen, and then it immediately happens, because Wanda's all like, if you keep the lights off, Timmy, well, you might wake up in a pot of boiling water, and Timmy's like, that's funny, I won't wake up in a pot of boiling water. And then he goes to bed. Guess where he wakes up? Guess. Did you guess yet?
Hey, Timmy, you're looking well roasted. Don't you mean well rested?
Did you guess where he woke up? Fuck you, Timmy, you did this to me. He woke up in a pot of boiling water with Cosmo and Wanda wanting to eat him, and this is where the episode gets very uncreative, at least for me, because we basically just see Timmy's eyes, or any of the characters' eyes, for the majority of the rest of the episode, except for when Timmy uses his flashlight, which isn't enough. Because I don't really want to watch eyeballs floating across the screen for 8 minutes. That's just my personal opinion, and then the 2-second frames you decide to show, like the episode lit up. Why not just, actually put effort in and put like a filter over the screen so we know that they're in total darkness, but I can still see everything that's going on. I don't know, it just kind of takes you out of it. I think some of the gags that they do are pretty funny, like this one where there's night-eating tigers who have night vision, and Timmy's dad is all like, I shouldn't have gotten naked, bro. I shouldn't have gotten naked and rubbed cat food all over me. Oh no.
I picked a bad time to smear my naked body in cat food.
Dad's naked?
I thought that was kind of funny, and then he gets mauled by tigers. That was cool. But everything else just feels kind of lazy when I'm just staring at eyeballs. The only reason that I could think that they would decide to make the entire episode dark is because they were too busy drawing just an animation of everybody jorking Butch Hartman's hog, because they just love his comedy so much. They were just like, Mr. Hartman, please let us draw you, oh, please. And he was like, okay, guys. You can draw me, but do it on the episode's time. So draw me naked, lathered up in something, and then just we'll put a black filter over the screen so nobody can see the drawn beautiful pictures of my pork and hog. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but who knows? Maybe that's what they were doing. Who knows? I mean, Butch Hartman, you created 2 really good shows, but I watched your bad ones and they hurt my feelings, so this is what you get now. Either way, Timmy eventually has to just outrun Cosmo and Wanda. We get a bunch of scenes with that, with only some of them. I actually get to see what happens, like he gets grabbed by a plane and then lands on a trampoline. And then, of course, we have the unconsenting whore herself. Timmy! Oh my god, I found you! Let me just...
How about a kiss, lover boy?
As Timmy begins to scream as he was just defiled by unconsensual lips smacking together. Poor Timbone. Poor Timbone having to deal with all the dirty, stinky, unconsensual, dirty things that Tootie likes to do to him. So he runs away from that as well, and he ends up at a hospital, and Mr. Crocker gets mauled, and then he has to run away from his parents. He has to run away from Tootie. He has to run away from Cosmo and Wanda, which leads to him eventually jumping off of a building, and he manages to last just long enough for the lights to come back on and for Cosmo and Wanda to save him. Good stuff. Great. Lovely. Fantastic. I don't know. I just feel like it's extremely lazy to do 95% of the episode where I just see eyeballs, and I get the animation is difficult, but you definitely had a lot of people working on Fairly OddParents after Poof was born. It was a pretty popular show, even though it was beginning to tank a little bit. I don't know why you would make such a decision like that. I've seen many shows where it's dark, yet you could still see things. I don't know. It just kind of takes away all the whimsy and mystical feelings I have towards Fairly OddParents when I'm just staring at Timmy's glorious, beautiful eyes. I don't know. I didn't really like that aspect. But overall, it's just a fine episode. I don't really think it's one of the worst. I mean, I'm not really judging many of the episodes here, but I think it's just fine. If anything, lazy. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. It would have been a lot better if they showed off a lot more what they were actually doing instead of just relying on eyeballs, but whatever. 4 out of 10 because of the eyeball thing. The next episode I'm going to be taking a look at is Certifiable Super Sitter, and this is actually the first episode that I've ever seen that features Chloe. Chloe herself actually isn't that bad. People like to complain about her, but I'm sure they're just, oh my god, they put a girl in a TV show that was primarily about a boy, I hate this shit. I don't know, I didn't think she was that awful. What I do think is awful is how this episode breaks every single established rule in the Fairly OddParents universe that I ever knew. It's the entire reason that I canonically think that Fairly OddParents just ends at Channel Chasers, because what is this? What is this, Butch? Are you getting old and they all stopped cranking your hog so you're just dry out of ideas? You can't spew out anything anymore? Because dear lord, why is this even a 22-minute special? It's stupid. So Cosmo can't remember his own son Poof, and Poof is returning, and there's a shrimp on the Barbie kangaroo. He just goes, shrimp on the Barbie, and then punches people.
Shrimp on the Barbie!
Poof, you're home, and you have a stomach pocket!
That's cool. Yes, this is all very important information, and Chloe is very excited to meet Poof. Poof returns and just does shitty impressions the entire time. It's like me, but a lot less funny. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, he does an Elvis impression. Yeah, hell, he even does a Trump impression. He's like, I'm going to be the best baby that there could possibly be, okay?
I brought some friends home. Well, one friend and one harbinger of doom. It's gonna be huge.
I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool, but it gets really annoying really fast, and I don't even know why they had to let Poof talk in the first place. I feel like if you're gonna go through the effort of making him stay a baby, while also adding a dog to the show, while also adding a little girl, you might as well just keep the little dude saying poof poof. I don't know, I just kind of thought that was stupid. But either way, we then get to the ultimate just horridness of this, where Foop shows up and this like pixie dude, I don't even know why they're there, I don't understand the importance of it, but they show up and they're maniacally plotting. They're like, oh gosh, we have to do horrible, horrible things to these people. So they trick Cosmo and Wanda into going into a black hole, and then Chloe is now in charge of all of the babies. And where it really tanks for me is Timmy's mom is all like, can you watch Timmy's dad, please? And she just leaves, drives away in a car, and then Timmy's dad is hanging out with them. But Poof doesn't have to hide that it's a fairy. Foop doesn't have to hide that it's a fairy. The pixie doesn't have to hide that it's a fairy. What? What did you teach me growing up, Butch? You always taught me the rules. And the rules are that you have to hide. If a parent finds out about the fairies, then you lose your fairies forever. When was this expunged from reality? This is stupid. It's so dumb. I hate it. But either way, they just do a bunch of shenanigans that aren't even remotely interesting. Like, genuinely, I felt like, oh my gosh, guys, let's just make a 22-minute special for shits and giggles, because that's all it is. We get more stuff with the shrimp on the Barbie kangaroo. He just randomly appears like 8 times in this episode and punches something. Lovely. Great. Vicky shows up and does like a jigsaw thing where she puts Timmy and Chloe down into the abyss where they have to eat Brussels sprouts and exercise. And Vicky's also just able to overpower Poof and also see that they are fairies. So what happened to you, Butch? What happened? Did you just lose everything? This is why I think shows shouldn't go on this long, especially a show like this, where you're just completely and utterly out of ideas. You know how much better the legacy of Fairly OddParents would be without slop like this, with Vicky just overtaking everybody and harassing everybody with incredible jokes like, I'm so evil! You guys want a cookie? See, I'm not that bad. I ate all the cookies. I am evil.
Wait for it.
Or am I? Now sit there and drool while I eat all the cookies in front of you.
Man, that got all the kids cackling. That got all the kids living their best lives. It just feels so dry compared to what I know from Fairly OddParents. I don't know. Fairly OddParents has a soft spot in my heart because it was so unbelievably good. The Wishology stuff, the stuff where Timmy becomes the chosen one, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, all of these things were peak Fairly OddParents, and to watch it become this, it's really unfortunate. So we get Vicky versus Chloe when they manage to escape and she's using a lightsaber against Vicky's chainsaw, and then Foop comes in to save Chloe because he's reformed, and he says, say punches, and Vicky's like, punches, and then the kangaroo's like, shrimp on the barbie, and punches her into a wall.
I say here, Punchy.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Yay. I don't know, it felt like they latched onto the kangaroo wearing boxing gloves and was like, well, this is it. This is the best we can do. Oh my god, shrimp on the barbie. Shrimp on the barbie. I guess, I don't know, maybe Butch Hartman fantasizes about kangaroos and getting punched by them. I wouldn't be surprised by it. Very weird episode. There's really nothing else to say about it. There was nothing good going on. There was nothing that makes me want to watch any of the Chloe episodes ever again, especially if they're just brain-rotted slop. Like, when your show is becoming... I don't know, I just don't get it. Like, you made the show. You've seen the quality it has become. Is money that important to you, Butch? Is it that important? I know Nickelodeon will just for you, but come on. The legacy it's soiled. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it, I don't know, a 2 out of 10. There's really nothing that great about it, at all. It establishes all of the rules. Poof does horrible impressions. Vicky is also able to see the fairies and fight the fairies and win against the fairies. It's just so boring and awful. I hate it. I don't ever want to watch it again. The final episode I'm going to be taking a look at is Fairly Odd Pet, and if a lot of people thought that Poof was the downfall of Fairly OddParents, then adding a dog for no apparent reason is truly where it began. This episode, though, it's genuinely not that bad. I'm just really sick of every single time there is a dog character in any show introduced. It just has to be that stereotypical, stupid, high-energy character, and I get it. Dogs are stupid. They have high energy. What else are you gonna do? I don't know, give them a characteristic that actually makes them interesting, because they all feel the exact same and they're all fucking annoying. I just can't get by it. But either way, Timmy really wants a pet. He sees that everybody has pets, and he wants one really bad, and we get to see a montage of how horrible Timmy is with a pet typically. He usually lets them die in horrible, horrible ways. But thankfully, just thankfully, Timmy wishes that there's a bunch of cats in his house, and his mom turns into a bloated, fat, obese woman, and Timmy's dad walks in and he's like, "Oh my god, monster!" So he sees his wife in peril and she's gained a few pounds and he immediately assumes this monster, so he tells Timmy to go and get a dog. And that is when we get introduced to Sparky. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, man, I ate a dictionary. Oh, Timmy, I love you, man. Like, you're so cool, dude. Like, you're rocking, bro." That's pretty much his entire personality, and I can't stand it. I don't know. I know that he was only in the show for like one season, probably because everybody despised it. I don't know. You could always tell a show is failing when they decide to do something this big to change up the franchise. But the weird thing is, I feel like Fairly OddParents was the kind of show that could have went on for a lot longer if they would have just stuck to what was working. You know, you kind of have a infinite world where you could do anything because you could wish for anything. You could have Timmy go on intergalactic adventures if you wanted, and you decide to add a dumb dog. Interesting. Not judging, just saying it's interesting, you know? So Sparky can do tricks. We get to watch him jump off a motorcycle, and then he bites Vicky. He does stuff like that, and then Timmy goes to bed, and then he wakes up, and Sparky has just ruined everything. He's buried the house. He's attacked people. He has fleas that go and bite people and turn them into werewolves. Cool, I guess. I don't know. It's just not that entertaining to me. I don't know. I feel like this is a lot of modern Fairly OddParents episodes. Instead of having a good linear plot, I feel like it's just kind of nonsense over and over again. Like at one point in the episode, Timmy's like, "Oh god, I really wish that I could crop dust everything and turn everybody back to normal." And then his dad has a crop duster for some odd reason. Whatever. I don't know, things are just too convenient in this world where they're supposed to have magic, but either way. Timmy crop dusts everything, and then Sparky abandons him by using the parachute, which I kind of thought was a little bit funny. He's just like, "I'll make sure it works," and then Timmy crashes anyway. And then Timmy's like, "Oh, I just can't have a dog anymore. I can't take the responsibility." So Sparky's really sad. And then the Dimsdale Dam ruptures, and Timmy goes to save Sparky. And I was just thinking, yes, jump into the raging water to save a dog that has literal wings and can fly. Whatever. You do you, Timster. You do you. And then because Sparky almost died, he realizes that Sparky is a great dog. Okay, I guess. So they're best pals forever, and Cosmo and Wanda make the world go back to normal. I don't know. It just screams dying show. Let's add a dog to increase the ratings. Maybe if they made him a little bit cool or something, like, I don't know. I can't think of any cool dogs right now that are really cool, but either way, this episode is just really boring, and I'm kind of sick about talking about these episodes because they're just slops. They're just slop fest. Anything past like season 6 of the show is just honestly unwatchable. I'm only doing it because I'm searching for the worst cartoon of all time, and this doesn't even remotely cross the threshold of being the worst I've ever seen, but it's just painfully boring. It's hard to watch, it doesn't keep you interested, and the jokes are just so rapid fire, but they're all shit because Butch Hartman is aging, and he's like, I gotta tell jokes where the opposite happens. I need it so badly, and it just doesn't keep you invested very long. So if I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It's not atrocious, but it doesn't really have anything good about it. These episodes were obviously not very good. I can clearly see why a lot of people would suggest these for me to take a look at. They're just awful. They don't really have a direction, and when they do it sloppily. Like the Lights Out episode, just staring at characters' eyes. That's not entertaining. That's not gonna grip me, and that's not gonna make me want to ever rewatch this episode. There's a lot of classic Fairly OddParents episodes that I would love to rewatch. My shiny teeth and me, my shiny teeth that sparkle just like the stars in space. Yeah, I can think of that right away. Fairly OddParents has some absolute bangers, but you just see where the show has just went is honestly really sad. The addition of the dog was clearly pointless, and if he had a bigger role, he didn't even have that big of a role in that episode. Yes, he was the major, like, driving force of the plot, but he didn't talk that much. If that character talked a lot more and was just that stupid the entire time, I can definitely see why the creator's like, yeah, you know, this might have been a mistake, you know, maybe we should get rid of the dog, you know, obviously. And then adding Chloe, I could see that working, but if you're doing it to spice up the show, why are you also taking away everything that made the original show work? I get it. You're on your 11th or 12th season. You gotta shake things up a little bit. Okay, you have a girl. Just stick to that rivalry. Maybe you have a bunch of rivalry episodes where Timmy and Chloe are just going at it. Like maybe Wanda's with Timmy one day, Cosmo's with Chloe one day, and they're just going at it. They're battling. Like, just do some crazy parodies. Like have a Star Wars Fairly OddParents parody where Timmy becomes the dark side and Chloe becomes the light, and or just something like that. She's a Jedi. I don't fucking know. I'm just spitballing. It's better than eliminating every single established rule in your entire show and just producing slop. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Butch Hartman was all like, let's make Fairly OddParents babies, where we have Cosmo, Wanda, and Jorgen all in their diapers, and all they do is go around shitting for the entire episode, because that's basically what they were doing to the show in the later seasons. It's just taking everything that you love about something in the past and just smashing it, beating it to a pulp, and that's why I don't really respect the modern take on Fairly OddParents. I know that there is a new show, and I've heard that's very positive. I haven't checked it out. Maybe I'm gonna have to. Maybe it could redeem some of this slop, but I don't know. I'm very disappointed in a lot of these episodes, and I feel like a lot of the modern episodes are just like that, and that sucks. I love Fairly OddParents, but it's sad to see where the show has ended up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I am feeling a little bit sick, so if I'm breathing a little bit more, that's why. Also, I'm going to be wearing the same shirt in a lot of videos because I'm going on a trip and I'm trying to prep a lot of videos, and it's killing me, but I'm trying my best to just give you almost daily content. I'm going to miss a couple days, but trying my best. So, yeah, I appreciate you all a lot. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.